It's extraordinary to think that a kid who learned the art of deception from a very young age will turn into one of the most influential skeptics of all time. Randall James Hamilton Swing was born in Toronto, Canada on August 7 of 1928. When he was a child, he had a gnarly accident on his bike that left him with a full body cast. The doctors thought he would have trouble recovering from the injuries, especially from his back. It took Randy 2 years to get better. But anyway, he had to be in a cast for more than a year. That made Randy read a lot. He had seen Harry Blackstone Sr., a magician and illusionist, and was mesmerized by the tricks he saw. He began reading a bunch of books about magic as well as learning the craft. Although Randy was extremely smart, he dropped out of high school to perform in carnivals as a conjurer. Now, a funny thing happened. Well, not that funny because he ended up in jail. When he was 15, there was a local preacher with big claims. The guy told his congregation he could read their minds. That intrigued Randy, so he went to one of the services. The pastor performed a trick called One Head. He took a sealed envelope and told the content without opening it, but in reality, before sealing it, he already knew the content inside. Teenager Randy stood up and, in front of everybody, told what the pastor was doing and how he was doing it. The preacher's wife didn't appreciate that, so she called the cops on Randy. He spent 4 hours in jail. But that taught him a lesson. People are very susceptible to deceit. By the late 1940s, he was known as the Amazing Randi, an illusionist, conjurer, as well as escape artist. He was often a guest on The Tonight Show, debunking many people claiming they could perform actual magic, no tricks involved. Randy was also getting a lot of attention with his dangerous tricks, following Houdini's steps. And actually, it was a trick from him that made Randy call it quits. He was in his 50s and about to perform the famous milk barrel escape for a TV show. It was the rehearsal, so he hopped inside the jar, got handcuffed, and sealed inside. But after freeing himself from the shackles, the lid got jammed, trapping him inside. As he struggled with the little air inside the container, 2 of his ribs collapsed and he heard them popping. The crew noted something was wrong and they opened the lid. At that moment, Randy decided it was time to retire his escape tricks. He was still an illusionist. He wasn't called the Amazing Randi for nothing. He had all eyes on him. He could have taken Mr. Barnum's steps of trickery and deception, but Randy went the opposite way. So at 60, he decided to retire, but only from magic. He had another battle to fight.
I know 2 things with great certainty: how to fool people, and more importantly, how they fool themselves. That is by far the more important part of that. So that gives me the expertise to be able to see through the tricks of the so-called psychics.
He wrote many books and had many TV appearances, and one of those was called James Randi, Psychic Investigator, where he would invite astrologers, mediums, psychics, and everyone who claimed could perform a magic or paranormal trick and test them following a scientific method. Many tried, but none succeeded. This gave him an idea. The James Randi Educational Foundation, established in 1996, offered the $1 million challenge to anyone who could follow the scientific method and prove their gift. And just like in the TV show, the prize has yet to be claimed. During his career, he made 2 big foes, Peter Popoff and Uri Geller. I will talk about them in later videos, but Randy exposed them using actual evidence, especially on Peter Popoff. The faith healer telepath was debunked on national television by proving he wasn't a magical being, but his wife was feeding him information through a radio signal. In 2013, he married his longtime boyfriend Davy Orangel Peña Arteaga, a previous fraud debunked by Randy. The Amazing Randi died on October 20 of 2020. He was 92 years old. An award-winning conjurer, debunker, escape artist, skeptic, and educator.
People who are stealing money from the public, cheating them and misinforming them. That's the kind of thing that I've been fighting all my life.
He knew the tricks. He could have used them to his advantage and won lots of money deceiving people, but his integrity was so immense that he decided to point the finger at fraudulent behavior to save the audience from failing into trickery. His foundation, the $1 million challenge, is still going strong, making everybody think. $1 million, and they only need to show their powers, yet nobody has been able to claim the money. Really makes you think. I'll see you later. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. Stay safe.